And that's the third time I got pink eye. Oh, hello and welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast with me, Danny. Today I am joined by Carl from Ought to Know Better. How are you, Carl?
Doing all right, thanks. Not too
Good,
bad at
good to
all.
have you on, sir. I am joined also by legend Joe Blackburn, who's named after the football club. Is that true?
I've got a fun fact. It's not true, but although my surname is Blackburn, I've never been to Blackburn. I've very deliberately been avoiding it because I feel like the moment that link starts, it's just going to be like magnets. I'm going to be stuck.
Yeah.
Is it like so you walk through the high street and all the junkies will just circle towards you? Is that it?
Yeah, it'll be like seagulls on chips. It's just game over for me if I go near
It's
that.
Joe.
The chosen one has returned.
He's no longer gone.
Yeah, so welcome to the Now Upside Down. If you've seen the promo and how bad the Upside Down is, it's actually twinned with Bradford. Would you believe, lads?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Which you would believe, wouldn't you?
absolutely.
Before we get into, go on, Carl. Mate. Sorry, go.
Oh no, I was just going to say, has it been twinned as the upside down portal of culture this year, or is it just
It says
Bradford?
it. I did a survey, and
Right.
according to everyone, the survey, shithole is the word that came up the most. So
Okay.
the people have spoken. The people have spoken. Yeah, do welcome to the show, lads. James is running a bit late, but he'll be here very shortly, hopefully. And Kevin is away on the moon, making sure that it's made of cheese. So we will get straight into it. Got his first little comment here. I know, good to see you. Ooh. He's from Iceland. That's how they say hello over there.
Yeah.
Before we do move on to our thoughts on Cardiff, we do have a sponsor, naturally, every week. Joe, I know you're married. Carl, I won't ask if you're, because it's rather rude. But for you people out there who are looking for love, there's a new app that a player has told me to promote. Now, if you are looking, and you solely want a Leeds United partner, yeah? So why don't you download Schmitten, the dating app, from the App Store or Google Play? I believe Android users use Schmitten. If you don't want any Liverpool players. I mean, Carl, if you were single, is it something that you'd be interested in?
I'd give everything a go at least once anyway, you know? Well, within
what a
certain
positive
limits.
attitude that is.
Boundaries.
You should have led with that, mate.
Yeah. Well, once bitten, twice shy. I'll know for again.
What about you, Joe? Back in your heyday, you're on your old stomping ground. Is it something? In my day, we didn't have dating apps. We just had smoke signals and pigeons.
I think I'd have to consider it maybe, and then if it all works out, then maybe we can get some ramen zani, but we'll have to find out,
Some ramen zani on the Schmitten
Ramen
app
zani.
with some Farke pens. I tell you what, someone's done their homework.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is. Look, Carl, don't take this. Don't take this. Carl rocking the John Charles home knit in circuit. Oh, sorry, I didn't even read it, to be fair. I just thought he was taking the piss. That's what he does.
That's
what
what
he does.
Smarty's all about.
Smarty, I know you're here, mate, but I've got her. I've got her. I'm sorry. Also, pick up your Crocs from the beach.
Oh man, yeah. Don't get him started on the Crocs.
Yeah, sorry. Right, let's get in. Let's get in. We've had it out, Carl. Don't you worry, mate. We've had it out. I'm a sliders guy. He's got fleece lined for Crocs that from I don't know, some endangered animal somewhere.
He'll want to be buried in them things, man. 100%.
Just in one giant croc. It's one giant croc. He said.
Yeah, that could be his casket.
Yeah, it's croc skit, if that's a word.
So
that's what we do now. Joe's thinking, why did I agree to come back?
I'm trying to think where the pun is. What I'm trying to, because it'll come to me in about 15 minutes. I'll think of a pun, and it'll be great.
Right, here then. So we played Cardiff at the weekend, and you'd have thought we'd lost going off the comments. I've actually one of the I believe it's a bluebird that their logo is, and I actually saw one of them who watched the match. And here he is. He's not happy. He's not happy at all. No. So, Carl, I'll come to you first, buddy. What was your overall thoughts about the Cardiff game, mate? Because, split opinions.
Yeah, it was kind of good, but bad at the same time. Cardiff just played a low block the whole time once they went down to 10 men. There was no trying to break them down. I think we were a bit wasteful with possession in certain parts. I think even when you watch the extended highlights, because you can't watch LUTV in England on a match day. I think Tony Dorigo mentioned a few times in the extended highlights that we weren't utilising Bogle enough when he was wide open, and I think that's something that we're kind of missing at the minute is when, I don't know, when we're kind of fixated on using the left wing or the right wing, either way, but we don't have someone in the middle who's willing to take it on and then just ping it wide. And it can be a bit frustrating because by the time we've seen that he's on his own or vice versa with the left wing, it's a slow passing motion rather than, right, okay, I see he's open, right, I've the ability to ping it, I'm just going to do it. And against 10 men, we should have capitalised more, but at the same time, if Strike gets his penalty, it's a 3-0 win and everyone's more than happy at a 3-0 win, I don't think we played bad. I think we just lack a bit. Well, we all know that the 10 role is the role that we're kind of lacking in. So, like overall, I thought the performance wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great considering we played against 10 men for the best part of 70 minutes. So it's frustrating. I think we need to step it up a gear very much so tomorrow. But we'll get on to that anyway.
Yeah, we'll get onto that later on in the pod. But yeah, anything that you want to add on there, Joe? I mean, that penalty was like blowing a fart in the gill, if that's a thing.
A fart in the gill?
Gale.
Oh, right. I thought I said gill. I was like, I've never seen a fish fart before. I didn't quite know where we were taking that little bit of conversation. It threw me a little bit.
But that is the same as if a tree falls, does it still make a sound? That is sort of relevant to a fish farting in the sea. I assume.
I don't. Yeah. I think that's a little bit too philosophical for whatever's going on here. I think basically we're fine, aren't we? Nothing's really gone wrong at any point, other than obviously the Borough match, which was in the cup, and we lost 1-0 to Burnley, who are going to be at the top of the table at the end of the year. Well, at least amongst that sort of area. At the end of the day, we've conceded 1 goal in the last 5 games of football. We have plenty of the ball. We can attack if we want to, but we're basically choosing to stay a little bit secure. It's fine. Let's just chill. It was a crap penalty. If that goes in, it's 3-0. If Ramazani learns how to dink a keeper, it's 4. If Aronson learns how to take a shot when he's 2 yards out from the goal, it's 5. And I feel like even the most negative of people have a little bit of a problem complaining about a 5-0 win. Be right.
I agree, mate. Wholeheartedly agree, because I do, but Twitter's, I've said it before, loads of people. It's good to see other people saying as well that Twitter, it's still, roll it in glitter, call it X all you want. Twitter's Twitter. It's not real. Some people have a bias against Farke. They wanted him gone after the final. Some of them wanted him gone halfway through last season. And I'm looking at Carl and I'm thinking, did you want him gone after the final?
No. To be fair, because the club were basically saying they were going to back him. Yeah. And I thought, he's done nothing wrong last season. Bar obviously the start of it when he didn't really have a stable squad, and the end of it where we came back after the international break and clearly forgot how to play football. Apart from that, 90 points. First time in 20 years that a team hasn't gone up on 90 points. I know people keep saying it or whatever. But it's something you have to take into account, and you can't look at the manager and go, yeah, once you're gone now, you've got 90 points, just not good enough. It's that's suicide. Who do you get in?
This is it. Once you ask them, all right, then who do you replace him with? And they're like, well, it's not my job. But why sack him then? Because I've heard a lot of people go get Coburn. He's got a 2 million release clause. Does he? I ain't heard that. But anyway, this was the momentum graph, which you'll chuckle at for. I believe you discussed it. That is mental. That is absolutely mental. Granted, they were down to 10 men for a lot of this, but still, that is crazy. Now, if you coincide this with the Burnley one, it's not all that different, is it? So this is meant to be Burnley, who turned up to us. Yeah, they've had a few chances. They capitalised off one mistake, which an accident you could call it, because he slipped. No, he didn't do it on purpose. But you mentioned it there, Joe. Going forward, I mean, it's like we talk about the penalty. Yeah, so the penalty was rubbish. He changed it up a bit. What I want to know is, me personally, I think from the 60 minutes, you should be making subs. Talk about the subs for me, buddy.
For me, the entire way of approaching it is just being risk averse. It's okay, we've got control of this. We're in the lead of the game. At the moment, we've got 3 points. Let's not mess with it, because then you're in a nice little comfy, cozy situation in which you can effectively decide what you want to do when you want to do it. The moment you make subs, you don't know what the balance of that game is anymore. If we bring on a Tanaka for an Ampadu, for example, do we start missing something defensively? Is Tanaka necessarily 100% match sharp because he's not been playing that much recently, because for understandable reasons, he had very little time training with the squad, considering he was signed then in Japan, then back, and he had like a week or something like that before. Cardiff? I was trying to it's all championship dross, innit?
Yeah.
But the moment you start making those changes, you bring more doubt and you bring more instability and you bring more questions. And I think it's just a case of, I mean, our players are fine. We're not tiring ourselves out chasing a ball. We're okay. We can just be chill and make changes a bit later on. It's fine enough. It's another way of avoiding risk, I think. I think if we're 2 or 3 goals up by that point, if we score the penalty, yes, we make the subs earlier. But we didn't, so we didn't. It ended up fine.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Pirro super sub Carl. He's been getting a lot of flack, in previous games, and rightly so, because in my opinion he has, the turning circle of a German U-boat, and it looks like he's got a Roblox body. Hold on. I just need to. There he is. Welcome, James. We're just talking about the Cardiff game.
I'm alive. Hello.
The traffic hasn't beaten you.
It nearly did, but I got it in a figure 4 leg lock just at the end there. So
good move.
Are you all good, mate?
I'm good now. I've got me drink and my microphone.
Good. Were you driving like Ace Ventura through the traffic?
In reverse.
In reverse, yeah. We're just talking about the Cardiff game, mate. Can you just give us your opinion right quick on the overall game?
Boring, controlled by Joe. We won, comfortable. Didn't get out of second gear. I was okay with it.
You're outraged that we only won 2-0.
I mean, we could have scored more. We should have scored more, but we didn't. But we still won. So just doesn't matter, does it really? 5-0, 2-0, it's the same points.
Yeah, Carl. I suppose the question I'm trying to ask and get out of everyone is it performance versus points for you, mate? Obviously, we've seen. I know what your answer's going to be, but there's people out there that will genuinely want us to lose rather than get 3 points. It's mental, isn't it?
I think that's absolutely bizarre. I genuinely how you could. Man, this I know our fan base. I'm prone to an outburst here and there, but fuck it, excuse my language, but Christ on a bike, that's fucking nuts.
You don't have to be excused there, mate.
Don't ever apologise. I guess.
Honestly,
what people don't know. Yeah. Sorry, Carl. What people don't know, at the end, there's a priest that blesses us and dissolves all sin from this podcast in agreement. So, sorry, Carl, go.
Yeah, I genuinely don't get how people want to lose so that Farke gets the boot. You hear people saying it's boring football and this and that, but you know what? If you want to get out of this division, sometimes you have to play that kind of football and get the results and take the points and just be fucking happy with that. Like, you can't, like, we say it on the pod quite a bit, like, we were spoiled with Bielsa. So
Yes.
you're never going to find another manager that plays like that unless you get Pep Guardiola, and he's not coming to us. So fucking deal with it and just be like, right, okay, let's get promoted. Maybe next year when he gets more flamboyant players in that we can actually afford to pay and play, maybe then he might change it up a bit. Like, he might get a Buendia type player in, and it could all change, you know. So
Apparently we tried for him.
yeah, but yeah, I think it's mad asking for the team to lose so you can sack the manager. It's like, fuck off.
I know it's crazy.
Gobshites, like gobshites.
What did you think of Schmidt, Joe? Obviously he was on very relatively. Was it like 10 minutes he had? But I thought I was like, pass to him so I can see what it's like.
Yeah, I've been really excited to see Schmidt, and I was like, oh, cool, it's finally time. And then he shows up on the right wing. I was very confused. I was like, okay, cool, this is fine. So what we've done is we've signed the Swiss Stuart Dallas. Absolutely no problems from my point of view. He can play anywhere. Cool, let's do it. I really like him. I know we've not seen much of him, but the fact that he's happy to be absolutely everywhere, absolutely all of the time, it makes me really happy. It brings a bit of joy. And just to sort of get on the people thinking it's boring football, we're not creating anything stuff. I just had a quick look at some numbers now. We have created more chances this season than West Brom, who apparently we want their really exciting manager, who has done less than us and also conceded more than us. So what are we just addicted to being sad? Is that it? Is that what being a Leeds fan is?
I think somewhere a long time ago, a Leeds fan picked on someone, and that someone's mum happened to be a witch, so she got a covenant, and then and got a covenant and just cursed the club. I believe that's where, or maybe we just say this and love to be hurt a lot. Do you know what I mean?
It sounds very familiar to the Mayo curse back home for the Gaelic football. It's just I seem to follow teams that break my heart all my life, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. No, I get it, mate. I get it. Try being an England fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Don't try and do that.
No rehab.
No, well,
there's no rehab for that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just on Smarty's point there, what's your opinions on Farke, James? I want to get the opinions before we move on.
My opinion on Farke.
There's this notion that he's under a lot of pressure, which he is to a certain extent, but 6 games in.
I think he's under pressure more from the fans than anybody else, if I'm being honest with you. The way I was thinking about this yesterday, should I say? Last season, he was getting the same sort of arguments about this how fast we're playing, the passing around the back. He was getting all this at the start of last season, and then it takes a little bit of time, and then we go after Christmas and absolutely smash the league, 13 games unbeaten, and then obviously we know what happened at the end, international break. But maybe it's just going to be that process again with a whole new forward line that need to learn his ways of playing, and probably a little bit different because we haven't got Ruta, who everything goes through, or Somerville. We've got a bit of variety now, so we might see the same thing after Christmas or even before that, where things just click and then we'll just go on a good run again. But it's just managing the team, and obviously we can't really help the international breaks. But I think a lot of the pressure on Farke is from fans more than anybody else, if I'm being honest.
That's a fair shout. Carl, how do you feel about Daniel Farke?
To be fair, I think what James is saying there is basically the point I was going to make, where we don't have Somerville and Rutter to kind of be one-dimensional and rely on them the whole time now. So the gameplay and build-up play has to be a little bit different, because we're not just going to switch it out to Somerville, hope he can do his best, cut inside and shoot, or we're not going to give it to Rutter where we're hoping that his bandy one-chop legs are going to beat 15 players and then allow him to balloon a shot over the bar. Like, that's like we don't have that option anymore. So it's like James was saying there, it's about different styles of build-up play, different types of interchange and passes, because we're not just giving it to one person anymore. We have to use the ball a lot better and utilize the players that we have in different positions now. So I think people like James was saying, giving Farke grief and this and that about the build-up play or whatever, but if the movement is good enough in front of the back four and Ampadu, then hold on to the ball, wait for that space. Like with Bielsa, it was very structured in the sense that once one player got on a ball in a certain position of the pitch, there would be players backing them up, but that's because it would be structured for them to be there. Once that player has the ball, they need to be in these particular positions to receive the ball or run off. And I think that's what we need to kind of look at with Farke as well, because he's going to have to drill that into the players now, because they don't have Somerville and Rutter to rely on.
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
I think we're in a spot where basically that entire front line, the whole dynamic has changed, right? Like Matteo has not been a starting centre forward. Ramazani has, although we don't know if he's going to be long term in that position, not been at a championshipy level where people are trying to kick him week in, week out because he's one of the better players in the league. He's been in La Liga, where you've always got the Real Madrids and the Barcelonas, and then he had like 3 weeks in Segunda Liga, I think it's called. I can't quite remember. So obviously he's new to that. And then Nonto, sure, he's had a season at this level, but he's interacting with those players in completely new ways because they're new to him as well. Add Brendan Aronson to the mix. It's obvious that it's going to take a little bit of time for everything to click. But quick question to all of you guys, just a quick yes, no, like answer kind of thing. Would you say Marcelo Bielsa in the promotion season was more goal scoring than this current side?
Ooh, that is a very good question. That's why I'm going to give it to James first.
I'm going to say no. Probably about similar. Maybe it might be more.
Yeah. See, through rose-tinted glasses, you like to think, oh, Bielsa was this all, he's the deus, he's God.
He had worse players, by the way. Let's just point that out as well. Bielsa did have a lot worse players, so you have to give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But he also had a Pablo Hernandez, which we don't have.
Yeah. And an Alioski.
The Alioski, the Macedonian whale. What about you, Carl?
I think in terms of scoring goals, I think it's about equal, but I think the more gilded edge chances would have been under Bielsa, I think. I think we created more under Bielsa in dangerous areas than we have under Farke, but I'd imagine the goal scoring rate's pretty much even. Like,
would you say, Carl, we're more well-rounded as a team this year compared to last season? Looks like we had Rutter and Somerville were very individual, creating chances. But now we've got like a good bench. It is okay, good. Sorry, and then you've got the starting 11, which varies from person to person. But just quick yes or no.
It needs a bit more time this season to gel with the players up front, and then I think it would be a more balanced side because after maybe the next international break, it needs to start to gel.
Yeah, well, I think, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, which you probably will, because I'm always wrong out 90% of the time. We took a long time to start gelling, didn't we, with Rutter and Somerville last season?
Yeah, we spent a really long time waiting for Rutter to do much because everyone was sort of behind him and like, okay, there's maybe a player here. He didn't score until the Ipswich match. And he would occasionally put a few chances together, but he didn't become what he became until that post-Christmas period, I don't think. And on the pure numbersy stuff, we create identical chances per 90 between the Farke Bielsa stuff. It's just we start seasons relatively slowly because we are in the championship and have had to sort of reassemble the squad. So they're getting familiarized. You're putting the jigsaw together, and eventually things will start getting going. But
there you go. The promise from Joe Blackburn. Calm down. Sorry. Right. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I do apologise. If it were up to Smarty, I think he'd have him in the street naked, shouting shame behind them, flog the players and dip them in tar. But he does make a good point. We are creating chances. It's just we need to finish them. So we won 2-0 against Cardiff, and believe it or not, we get 3 points, and it is a good thing. I need to stop bashing the Twitter people. But yeah, let's move on to the next segment. The next segment, which is guess the person. So, Carl, it's been a while since you've been on the podcast. I think we had guess the player last time, when you were on. So
Pokemon dude.
Ash Ketchum, bloody hell, that was like really a long time ago. One of the first ones. So what you're about to see is a similar thing. You probably get it wrong because I've forgotten what I've made. So how it works, people, is you look at the screen for 10 seconds and you look at the clues and try and guess or figure out. It could be the wildest guess, and see if you get it right. I tried at the beginning, Carl. I did try and do it like properly, but it was too easy, and I don't like people getting things right on this podcast. It's not because that's not funny, is it? Right. So here you go. Here is your 10 seconds. Look at the clues. It's obviously well realistic and carefully edited. 3, 2, 1, and there. So I'll go around the panel. Joe, who do you believe that is? Let's see in the comments as well. Who think that? Who the people?
Considering the tropical fruits in the image, I'm going to go somewhere Pacific. I'm going to go Samoa specifically, and I'm going to go with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because that big question mark. What is he doing when he does that people's eyebrow? He's questioning you. It's all adding up, and I'm sure he's done something with Sony at some point, implying the PlayStation.
I just love how your brain works. I genuinely do want to inception.
It's called autism.
Oh,
it's called autism.
Deal with it.
You want a bit? I'll send you some over.
I'm just going to
just some over. I've got some spare.
I'm overflowing. Right, I'm just going to put that over there for a minute. I'm going to come straight to James. Who do you think that is, mate?
I'm not really good with computers. I think it's some sort of computer character. Fucking Crash Bandicoot or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, Smarty said that in the comments, but yeah, cheater.
Oh, is it?
What about you?
Going off your reaction there, I'm not sure if it is a video game character or anyone real at all. I think it might be just some guy in an IKEA house, where he's just sitting there and it's an advertisement and he's just sitting there with his beer. I think that's what it is.
Is it a triple bluff? Have I triple bluffed you?
I think that might be the case, I think it's just a guy sitting in an IKEA catalogue holding a beer, advertising their pull-out couch or something.
Carl's getting it. Carl's thinking outside the box, inside the box, but outside the box.
Flat pack.
So are you going with a stock image? You believe it's a stock image?
I'm going with a stock image, yeah.
Right, okay, let's have a look in the comments then. We've got Rayman. Remember that game? That was great.
Oh yeah, that was class.
And we've got Crash Bandicoot from Smarty, which James cheated with, and that's all the comments. So
yeah,
let's go back up here. So this is what you saw. You've obviously got whatever the fruits are there. You've got the question mark. You've got Gingers Have Souls 2 mug. You've got the PlayStation 1, and you've got the question mark on his head. So who do you think it is? It's not Crash Bandicoot. It's his mate Aku Aku. If you remember his famous catchphrase, you get a bonus point if you remember it. What's it go like?
Fuck off, you cunt. Is it that?
Clear as day, dropping a C-bomb. Yeah, but it's umdigo.
Oh,
that's the sound that he makes. Yeah,
that's what it translates as. I'm pretty sure.
James, can I just have a quick word? Just come down here.
No. Come on.
Stop fucking swearing.
Oh, you can.
Oh man, there was a video. Just quickly, funny story. There was a video of a woman in Dublin pushing her pram, and she was swearing at the child because he wouldn't shut up. And there was 2 guards literally about 10 feet away, and he goes, "Here, you! Will you just stop fucking swearing at your child, will you?" Yes. And I was standing, I was going, yes, the guards haven't a fucking clue. Stop fucking swearing at your child. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
This is the sound. This is the sound that it made. Well, that or the bogeyman said that. Yeah, so let's get on to some news now. Thanks for playing, Carl and Joe. James, you cheated by looking at Smarty's comments, so you lose 2 points.
Great.
Not bothered, are you? Yeah.
Not really.
Right. Yeah. So it's been announced this week about the stadium going up to 53K. What's your thoughts on that, Joe? I believe they brought in an acoustic specialist, and I've got a picture of him right here. Here's the acoustic specialist. He does work well in spaces. What do you think, Joe?
I thought that guy worked mainly on cricket stadiums, if he's familiar with bats.
Oh,
Your brain.
He's here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Only for tonight. He's not taking my job.
Up your game, come on.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty good. Looks like we've hired all the right people. In the video that I did on this, I looked specifically at the acoustic specialist bit because I knew a few little bits and bats about what happened with Wembley and why Wembley's really bad for football because of the way their acoustic specialist did stuff. Basically, they designed that stadium with the thinking that at some point we'll do concerts and stuff. So when sound bounces around, you don't want it to echo and suddenly you're hearing Coldplay from 4 different directions at slightly different times, which meant that it's impossible for chants to get going because obviously the sound is being dispersed in very different ways that's good for music, not good for crowds. So ideally, this means that our lot don't do that because they've got a very clear example of how you can make something bad for football. That and the sort of transport consultancy people they've gotten in is very good because I know that transport around Elland Road is a nightmare. Yeah, basically good things. And as much as I've seen some people saying, but there'll be prawn sandwiches, it's fine. There's already prawn sandwiches. They're not ruining your day already. It's okay. Calm down. Your seat is still there and you can still have your shit burger.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Oh,
Fine.
fuck.
And
Daniel, can I just shoot off? Sorry, mate. I think there's a cat out my window. Bear with me 1 sec. Sorry.
so random. Carl, what do you think? What's your thoughts initially on the stadium?
This is the third
Expansion.
time. Yeah, it's the third time I've heard a different owner tell me that they're going to build a new stand or moves away from Ellen Road or build a fucking basketball court on the back of it, and so I'm delighted that they're actually publicizing it properly, like and you know giving us the information, even though it might be a bit drip fed, like. But yeah, they're saying all the right things. How long is it going to take? They're not telling us that. Any drawings? I was listening to Square Ball there, and they were saying that someone from not inside the club apparently sent them a graphic of what it's meant to look like. They didn't give anything away, which was annoying. So yeah, I'd just like a bit more information. I'd like, as soon as the drawings are done, put them online, because there's no turning back. Then really, they've basically cemented it. Okay.
Oh my days! I do not believe this. You quizmaster, you dropping in unannounced. I'm sorry, Carl. That's so rude of him.
It's all right.
He drops in whenever he wants. Joe, this is the quizmaster. He's very rude. I do apologise. Quizmaster, who's your quiz for? I don't have any controls. He's took over. It's on him.
Sorry, I've just had my hair done. Can't you see? Anyway, question is 2 for Joe, 2 for Carl, and 1 for an all-rounder. Joe.
Have you got a cold?
It's something like that. I think it's herpes. Joe. 97-98 season, Leeds ran out 4-3 winners against Blackburn at Ewood Park. Can you name the scorers? Can you name them?
Because of the way that you phrased the question, this is correct either way. No. You asked if I can name them. So have that
He's
shit,
got you there.
Gandalf.
I love his
Well,
brain.
you failed.
Uh,
You failed. You failed as Wallace. Wallace got 2, Molinari got 1, and David Sexy Hopkin got the other one. Hey. Carl, Leeds had an Irish family link back in the day. Uncle and nephew, Kelly and Hart. What is the date range between the two? Date range.
Age range, like.
Yes.
I think it's only like 4 years or something like that.
Oh, so close. 3 years, 1 month, 22 days, baby. Baby. Joe, can you name a player? Name one that played for both Leeds and Blackburn.
I should be able to.
Yeah.
Go on then.
It's not. It's not coming. I'll say someone journeyman. Alex Cairns.
No, is that Alex Duff? Is that Alex Duff, mate? Is that Alex Duff?
Oh, yeah.
Carl. Leeds have played 17 competitive games against Italian teams with 6 wins, 7 draws and 4 losses. 15 goals for, 13 against. What was the last result and who was it against? Who was it against, Carl?
AC Milan at home.
No, it was Lazio 3-3. Bowyer Wilcox Viduka for the scorers, Ravanelli and Mihalovic got 2 goals. Now this is one for everybody. Can you name the total amount of Irish and Italian players that have ever played for Leeds? Ooh.
I'm going to go with Joe and say, no, I can't name them all.
No, not name them. How many? How many players, Irish and Italian players that have ever played for Leeds? The combined total, lad.
20. I'm going to go with 20. What do you think, Joe?
21.
I never playing maths quizzes with you again.
I'm going with 14.
Ooh.
14 combined Irish and Italian players that ever played for Leeds United. It's fucking 60, lads. What's going on?
60.
Oh, Joe, you
loads of Irish, like, but
clever person, you. Yeah. Well, are you finished now? Can I have the controls?
Yeah, back? I'm off, lads. Off you up.
I'm so sorry, boys. He just drops in when he wants. It's just so terrible. As you called it, Joe, this is an asylum.
Sorry about that.
James,
yeah?
you won't believe it. The quizmaster just dropped in.
Fuck off, not again. I ain't missed him again.
Honestly, mate, he took over. I do apologise, Joe and Carl, and viewers. I do apologise. What were you saying, Carl, before he rudely interrupted you?
Just about the stadium. Yeah, just give us plans as soon as possible. Give us drawings. Shit that makes it say you can't back out no matter what.
Nancy Dumbledore. Yeah, I mean, Carl, just fire back at you as well, mate. Do you Smarty's been on before, and I've spoken to the other better lads as well. Is the atmosphere going to suffer, do you think? Or do you think it's suffering already?
I think it's kind of more frustration for the reason it being a bit flat, I think, at the moment. But I think, like Joe said, they're bringing in the right people to try and get the acoustics right at it. Like they've hammered that point home in the statement that they've brought out there. It's their main focus, as well as building the stand, obviously. But I don't think it'll kill the atmosphere. It'll just depend on where they put the away fans, I think, because there's a few group chats there today, and a couple of lads were saying, well, they'll probably put the away fans back in the south stand. They're not going to give them the shiny new stand. So it's I think a lot of it is determined by that. I think the south stand has been a bit of a regeneration of the atmosphere after the Celino era kind of came to a halt, and he passed it over to Rads. I think that the south stand was kind of the noisy end for quite some time, but I guess it's I don't know if it'll hamper the atmosphere. It's up to us really to make the atmosphere.
That's it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can't agree anymore. Joe, I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the away fans, we can just do what Newcastle do: whack them in the top of the east stand, just one of the sides.
behind some
outside.
plexiglass.
Oh yeah.
Let them stand outside the ground and hear. Listen.
Yeah. So we'll talk about Coventry then, right? Quick. Obviously, they have one win in 5, and that win was a long time ago, 5 games ago. So they've won, drawn, and lost again. And going off what Farke said during the press conference, with quite a few injuries, Joe. Are you worried? Obviously, there's question marks over Firpo. Solomon's broken in half, apparently. Strikes a doubt. What changes do you think is going to happen tomorrow, mate?
From what I could tell from the press, right, it looked like Firpo was back training, which says he's probably fine. If Firpo's not fine, then we know that the Swiss Stuart Dallas can just do everything anyway. So that's not a problem. Schmidt can come in if Firpo's not there. If we've not got Strauch in the end, then yeah, that might be an issue because we've been really good defensively lately, but at the same time, Ampadu can always step back a little bit. You can whack in a Tanaka and then see how that works.
Whack a Tanaka.
Whack a Tanaka. Basically, it's fine, to be honest. Like we're okay. Although we are missing a couple of people, everyone said in the summer, we need more depth, we need more quality depth. We got the quality depth. So I think we can't really lose our heads over a couple of injuries because we've got the depth that we wanted to deal with them. So, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. James, confident about tomorrow? I mean, I watched Lockie's video earlier. Is it not a crisis, but is it an opportunity? For instance, do we just rest? Sorry, in the comments there by... I've lost it. Oh, there you go. Andrew. Don't risk Pascal, put Ampadu centre back. So does that mean that Ampadu drops into central defence and then Tanaka obviously takes over where Gruev and Ampadu were for you?
More than likely. He did reference fucking James DeBio, didn't he, in this conference as well? But I watched him he played in that under-21 game, didn't he, and got done, so I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, this is we've got people that can come in and step in, and we've got people that can come in and take their chance. So this is it. This is what the opportunity. When you get it, you have to take it. But Coventry's always fucking shit for us, aren't they? Even going back into the older days, they've always been tight games against Coventry. So, but we'll probably beat them about 20-0 tomorrow, to be fair. So
yeah, and obviously, as for you and Kev, it's a local derby, so it means a lot more for you, doesn't it?
It does, but luckily I don't actually live in Coventry anymore, so I can just escape the abuse and just hide away if we don't win. But we will win. We will win.
Yeah, of course we will. Of course we will. Carl, are you confident for tomorrow? Any changes for you?
No, I think he starts the same team, and
really,
we know what Farke's like. He's not going to change a team that's just 1-2-0, regardless of whether it's against 10 men we've won or not. Like, I think he's very steadfast in that sense. But I think if it doesn't, I think it'll go our way anyway. But I think if it doesn't, he'll make changes earlier. I think he's kind of looking at Pirro now. Well, like, he's looking at Pirro now, and he's come on the last 2 games, and he's scored goals. Like, so it's a way of gradually bringing him back into the fold a little bit more and giving him that opportunity, and I think it takes the weight off Joseph as well, if that's the case, and that happens,
I'll put this question to you then, Carl, mate. I wanted to talk about it. Does Pirro deserve a start then? If I'm not saying that Mateo Joseph hasn't had an impact on the games, I'm just saying because Pirro's having this run of form, scoring goals. I believe it's 1 goal, 2 assists in the past 3 games. Is that right, Joe? You're the stats man. He's a stats man. But I believe it's somewhere around there. Carl, just your opinion on that, mate?
No, I think you start Joseph. I think he leads the line a lot better for the press than Pirro does. Like, I've only seen Pirro really press on a centre-back pairing in that semi-final against Norwich at Ellen Road. Like, bar that, I hadn't seen it all season, and I think that's why he's going to stick with Joseph. Joseph seems to be a player that'll bring players into the game a little bit better than Pirro. He'll run the lines. He'll run the channels. So I at the moment it's kind of a blessing that Piro's very much impactful off the subs bench at the moment. But it's a hindrance to him starting because at the moment his ability is coming on and influencing games rather than starting and trying to influence a game. So yeah, I think you just go with Joseph and bring Piro on and potentially play him up top and let Joseph drop a little deeper. I'd prefer to see Joseph drop a little deeper if Piro came on, then Piro dropping a little deeper. But yeah, I think Joseph needs to start. Like, it's not it's not a question at the moment for me.
Just on that, Joe, do you think what's your opinion on that? If Piro, would you slide straight into that 9 role?
I think the reason we're seeing Piro do so well this season is because our front line right now is Nonto, who admittedly last season at points didn't press too much, but is now doing it constantly. Aronson, who just doesn't stop running all match. Ramazani, who had, I think off the top of my head, the fastest sprint speed in La Liga last season or something like that. And Mateo Joseph in front of them. The reason that someone like Piro is able to do so well when he comes off the bench is because their backline has already been pressed senseless. Because they've already spent so much energy trying to deal with that press. So when Piro comes on, they are exhausted with trying to deal with so many fast players that Piro's able to play against more tired opponents, get into those positions and get the chance that he needs to finish. Whilst he is, brilliant goal scorer, finishing consistently, I think the reason he is able to do that is because of what we've done to prepare the sort of opposition for him, which is it's good. It works. So I think changing that would be bad.
If we're losing, it's not a good job to bring him on.
No, I think.
Do you think it slows it down?
I just think he can't do anything if they're all sat back in defence. I think he's not really in the game, is he? If he hasn't got space to shoot.
James, do you
if
think
we're winning, we'll probably bring him on.
Do you think is it like you were saying? Is it a case that the momentum has to be in our favour for him to be effective? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I just think he needs more space than what we usually get in this league, especially when we're drawing or someone's nicked a goal past us. He just becomes really ineffective when they're all packed there. Like, he'll do little touches and he'll pass it off it and that. But what we want him to do is put the ball in the net. And he's against Hull and against Cardiff, he's had space and has been able to kill off the game. So if we get 1-0 up, then by all means bring him on to kill the game off. But he still needs to prove to me that he needs to affect games when we need someone to do something in a game.
Yeah. Craig here, a good friend of mine. Start Joseph's. We've got more than one. Potentially bringing Joffy. What's a Joffy? I can't remember. Do you know what Joffy is, lads?
It's a cake or is it a biscuit?
It brings up a point. I mean, Carl, Joffy, is he going to see some games this season? Because he's not getting a look in, is he?
No, it's a sad state of affairs, really, when you see how Joseph has kind of leapfrogged him in the position that he wanted to play in. Like, he was very defeatist, I think, last year, because he said, he'd play in the 10, he wouldn't mind playing in the 10, when in reality he's a striker. Like, that's why we bought him. It's the same as Nanto, we bought him as a striker, but
so much potential.
Yeah, that's the thing, and he showed it as well, that he's very much up for a big game, like that game against Norwich in the Premier League, when him and Rafinha combined to get that goal. You could see it, and the dink over Lewis Dunk for Pascal at the back stick, for the head and all. You can see he's got that good football intelligent brain on him, but at the moment his progress has been hampered by the fact that he's not getting a look in. Like,
yeah. Do we see Joffrey again, Joe, or mainly just cup games? Or
I think we still see him hovering around from time to time. He'll have 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, whilst we're trying to waste a little bit of time. But at the end of the day, it's down to a player to prove that they deserve a place in the squad, and they deserve to start games, and they deserve to be the one coming off the bench. And when we signed Gelhardt, we signed him as a centre forward for now, a little bit of rotational stuff. but hopefully he grows into it and he gets better and he gets better. Didn't really happen too much, and the fact that we signed players that were roughly his equivalent and then we're able to just go, well, no, because they're clearly better than Joffy, sort of says that maybe at the very least a loan from January onwards just to see how he is compared to other Championship players. But yeah,
I believe he's coming up towards the end of his deal. I think. I'm sure after this season he's only got a year left. But either way, we signed him. Yeah. We signed him because we were after him for quite a while from Wigan, but then we got him, and then he had that one good couple of good cameos in the Premier League, and then he's just dropped off the face of the earth. I hope he does get out. Just your quick thoughts before we move on, James, about Joffy. What do you think?
I feel like he's been massively mishandled since he's come out. I think we bought him with a lot of promise, and he was excellent for the under-20 and under-21, 23, whatever it was. And then that second season with Bielsa just killed him and a lot of under-21 players because they're all on the bench and they weren't playing. And then he went out to bloody Sunderland, didn't he, to play without Ross Stewart, and he got injured, so he was a lone man. He weren't really being effective up there because it weren't his game. And then he needs to go somewhere and the team to play around him, because I think he's an absolute quality player. He's just been very, very unfortunate.
Yes, and that's 100%, mate. Let's get some predictions then. Carl, we'll start with you, mate. Confident? What score do you think it's going to be, bud?
I went 3-1 on our pod. I was like, yeah.
3-1?
3-1, yeah. I think,
yeah. You do know that you've got one winning 5 and they're coming to play up. You do know that, don't you?
I do, yeah.
You know what that means, though, don't you?
I do, yeah, but that hoodoo was broken last week when we played Cardiff, because that was a fucking potential banana skin for me going to Cardiff. And if we can overcome that and still not, like, every time a team goes down to 10 men like that in the bottom of the league or whatever, all I think about is fucking Wigan. And for me, that Cardiff game last week was putting Wigan hoodoo to bed, and being 1-0 up for so long and then just going, right, yeah, that's it now, put to bed. Forget about Wigan now. We've overcome that hurdle, and yeah, I think we're beyond the slippery slope there now, so I'm going 3-1.
3-1's a very good answer. Joe, what's your predictions, buddy?
A nice, boring 2-0 that everyone complains about and still wants him sacked after. Despite having said last week that if we won, they'd probably be more accepting of it.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to lose. We're not going to lose. I try to do fake outrage, and it's just not me. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. James, what about you, mate? And
we're at home. What's that now?
I kind of missed that.
What's your score prediction, bro?
Said the word sex and just sent me somewhere else. I'm going to go...
That's what I do best, baby.
I'm going to go... We're at home, aren't we? If I was away, I'd probably say like 4-0 or something, but I'll go 3. Just 3 now.
Just 3.
Just the 3.
Just the 3.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That's fair. We're very confident. We're confident in the comments as well. Aina, what have I told you about this? What have I told you about predicting us to win comfortably? It never happens when you do it, mate. Oh well. And Andy was going 4-3 as well. We seem to be confident. There's no reason why we shouldn't be confident. They're coming to us in a very poor bit of form. Looking at their, community on Twitter, a lot of people are wanting him out at this rate. I mean, he had a bit of money to spend as well, but is it Hadji, I believe, the American striker? He played well against us last season, and we owe him. Let's be honest, we did beat him once last season.
He's a good manager. Yeah. He's actually good. Every season they start slow and they do well at the end. Yeah. I like Robbins. I do.
They've lost O'Hare and that American lad. He's gone to Hull, isn't he? So
yeah,
that's
Casey Palmer.
Casey Palmer, yeah, he's gone to Hull. Yeah. He got one last year against us, didn't he?
So we're all confident we're going to win, and let's hope we do that. Did I just hear your letterbox score, James?
You didn't. You heard an email come through my phone. That's what you heard.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get into this other section. Don't worry. You're nearly there, lads. Keep the faith. Let's get into this segment.
Letters to James.
Who has emailed you this week?
It's the one and only Daniel Farke.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I'm going to get straight into it because it's really important that I read this. Hello there, James. Thank you for taking the time to read me letter. Not only do I get to manage the greatest club in the world, Leeds United, I also get my letter read out on the best podcast ever. I'm so grateful. Anyway,
You're welcome.
I wanted to write to tell all the fans to stop whining like little bitches. I'm Big Danny Farke, and I do this shit. 2 promotions in the bank, should be 3, had it not been for lucky Ipswiches and those cheating Leicester, plus the pesky interfering shite anti-Leeds international break. This season I have a plan, and my plan is to slow it down to a near standstill that the other team just fall asleep, and then we can go on to win 2-0. I know all the refs will try and make it unbelievable hard for us. I don't care. They're all massive wankers. And I will take them to my basement and I will show them videos of me brushing my hair. If you didn't know, my basement is really good. Last season it was not so good. I had a lot of shite in my basement. There was my old Honey Monster outfit, 45 boxes of the game Buckaroo, and a shit ton of information on preventing all abductor injuries. But after the playoff final, I went home, stripped naked, got hammered on wine, ate a whole wedding cake, did 40 knee slides across my garden, and I just set my basement on fire. Anyway, don't worry about this season, Leeds supporters. I promise you that at the end of the season, I can guarantee that the numbers and stats will say we're the best fucking team in the universe, and that's what matters. We will be promoted, and that's what matters. So now I must prepare for Coventry by putting shredded wheat in my wellies, sprinting around Thorpe Arch. Thanks, James, and the rest of Nout team for your inspiration. To everybody here, take care. Daniel Farke. P.S. I'm a stat man. Skibbity, skibbity. And that's that.
Well, thank you, Daniel.
Daniel.
Please, if you haven't already, do like and subscribe. But yeah, it's our pleasure to read out your email. Carl, just quick thoughts on that. Do you think Farke is very passionate man?
It comes across very passionate, yeah. He seems convinced in the things he wants to do. Yeah. It's sounding good. Sounded very good.
Joe, he mentioned shreddies. I thought he was a Wheatos man.
I thought he mentioned shredded wheat, not shreddies.
Shredded wheat, mate.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. When he's done, it's shredded wheat.
Shredded wheat's bigger.
Aren't we all shredded wheat at the end of the day?
Yeah.
This is not a philosophical podcast. I can't say the word, but there we go. Well, that is this week's Letters to James.
Letters to James.
And you can see more of that segment next week. Right, let's get into the final segment, which is Top Knob. And how Top Knob works is somebody, something, or whatever you want gets nominated. We put it in the pile. I have the casting vote, and it goes on the table of top of the knobs. And at the end of the season, I'll call them top of the knobs. So let's get into Top Knob.
Top Knob.
Do you know, I think with all these jingles, we belong on like Saturday night TV in the 90s. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly it.
Yes.
Just not after in between Bruce's Price is Right and another one that I can't mention
Catchphrase.
for legal reason.
Say
Catchphrase.
Say what you see.
Catchphrase.
Right, let's Joe Blackburn. Who has pissed you off this week?
So I had a proper think, and I didn't want to say Leeds fans because I felt like if I say Leeds fans, then that's a bit not.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought wider. I thought, what is the cause of people losing their heads? Why is everyone sort of unhappy and we're winning and we're still pissed off? Not quite Henry VIII, but arguably more of a cultural impact. The YouTube algorithm. People are going on YouTube shouting outrageous takes because they know that people are going to click it and they know that people are going to stick around and that video is going to get recommended and it's going to cycle and it's going to flow. And then suddenly people that watch them are like, oh, maybe you've got something there. And suddenly, we're in the dark side now, folks. We're in the negative hole. It's YouTube's fault.
1 sec.
A negative hole.
The
negative
negative
hole.
hole. Yeah.
Is a positive
Chat
hole
more
just a hill?
shit. Chat
I
more
want
shit.
to be in the pot.
More,
Stay away
more
from the
shit.
negative hole. It's dirtier.
takes. Right. I've wrote that down, so hopefully the algorithm will sort me out. Right. So you're going with the algorithm. Okay. That's very good. Very good. James, what about you, mate?
I'm going to go with my day today. It's been all right, knob, today. That's what I'm going with.
The
Fuck you,
Friday.
day.
Traffic.
Yeah, and all that jazz.
No, that jazz. Okay. What about you, Carl? Who's really pissed you off this week?
You know when you do the hashtag LUFC on Twitter, because it's
I
not
do that
X,
often.
yeah, and you get all the fucking IPTV things coming up, just hashtagging LUFC,
yeah.
and you spend your time blocking the fuckers, and then when you go back in for another look, there's a whole round of new fuckers in there that you have to block, and yeah, those fuckers. Sorry, I can't be more articulate than that, but those
You're
fuckers.
perfect, that was.
Yeah. So we've got. Is that could coincide with the algorithm, I suppose, but then it's not YouTube, is it? So it's all one algorithm. Shall I just say fuck all the days and fuck all the algorithms there is?
Negative
that
holes.
sound-
Can you say
cover it,
negative
yeah.
holes? Fuck the negative holes.
Are
Yeah,
you saying
right.
hoes like ladies of the night hoes, or are you
I'm
saying
saying
hoes?
holes as in butthole.
Or
Boats and hoes.
hose as in the horticultural tool.
Oh, the gardening tool. Yes. the
Hole.
gardening tool.
La, la, la.
La,
Hole.
la, la.
All right, then. I'll nominate every single one of them. Yeah. Okay. So
Thanks,
you
Dan.
are this week's top knob.
Top knob.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for putting up with us, and you two for coming on. Joe and Carl, you got through unscathed, and it was very good to have you back on. So first things first, thanks for turning up, James, because I know that you had a really bad day. Yeah.
Ah, well.
Always next week. Joe, what's dropping on the channel this week or tomorrow, whenever? What's next out?
I have no idea, to be completely honest with you. We'll find out after the Coventry match, but I'll keep doing videos and streams daily-ish, depending on work and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll be around. You'll see me.
Yep. If you don't subscribe to Joe, please go and do it. You're living under a rock. He is absolutely, especially the gaming stuff. I love the gaming stuff. That's brilliant. You know,
That's
when you
good,
do
because
the
the view numbers don't.
Well, I'm always there with my big foam
Yes.
fingers.
Yeah.
Carl, oh no, but I believe you've just done a main pod, haven't you? Were it yesterday or the day before?
It was
Not you
Tuesday.
personally, but the Tuesday, right? There you go. Yeah. Anything
we've
coming out over the weekend?
Yeah, well, it's myself and Smarty are on for B&C on Sunday morning, probably. So
Nice.
anyone that's hungover and the wife is asking them to paint a bedroom or some shit like that, you know, tune in, say how are you getting on and what you're doing with your Sunday
I
morning.
thought you were going to offer to help paint the bedroom.
Absolutely not. I fucking hate painting.
Well,
Same.
Carl, do this. Can you do this for me? Oh, I swear you had white stuff on your fingers earlier. I'm thinking, is he pulling a Michael Jackson?
Here we are.
You're magician.
Yeah.
here.
So here we go. Please go and subscribe to All No Better as well. They'll be on there on Sunday. And when you go and see Smarty up there, please take the mick out of his Crocs because he wears Crocs. Sunday club for us, me, James, and I don't know if Kev will be there. I think he might be. Who knows? It depends if he gets back from the moon or not. Everyone, please do like and subscribe to this podcast. We are trying to get to 1,000. We are close to 900 as it stands, but we are trying to get to 1,000 this season. So fingers crossed for that. Carl, I must ask. You're a man of Twitter. I've seen you in the trenches, in the comments. I'd love to know, what's your favourite conspiracy?
See, that's a good one.
Just to finish, always end with a bang and not a fizzle.
But are they really conspiracies? That's the other question you have to
That's
ask
what I
yourself.
think, Carl.
You know, this is the other thing.
we're getting into Matrix territory here.
We very much are, you know what I mean? So I think that
I've
could
got
be
a
a
good-
totally new
I've got a good
podcast,
conspiracy.
Go
The
on.
government's for the English, for the British people. That's a conspiracy, isn't it?
Yeah, they're conspiring against us. That's the only conspiracy I can think of at the moment.
Quick, I know, I'm sorry, Joe, to keep you, but we do have to talk about this. Check this photo out. Team photo!
Yay! Look at it. Fantastic.
Some bandages on there, probably under some, on some ankles. And I found this little bit of golden nugget. Look at this, winning Tony Hawk's. Tony Hawk's won back in 2003. How cool is that?
That's deadly.
That is really cool, isn't it? My favourite conspiracy is that pigeons don't really exist and they're part of the government platform to surveil on people. I know you're probably watching this after we've been live, but I want to see some conspiracy theories in the comments. Please do go and do that. But yeah, I won't keep anybody any longer. Go on, Carl.
Just one more thing before we go. Speaking about pigeons, has anyone ever seen a baby pigeon? Because that will back up your theory. Because I've never seen a baby pigeon.
That's because they're still in the nest.
Yeah, but they generally get out of the nest a little bit beforehand, don't they?
Here, mate. I raced
Have
them.
you?
To be fair,
Yeah, I raced them.
You've blown a hole in that one, so.
Yeah.
do you ever beat them? Would you like put them on leads and like do the 100 meters? Do you beat them?
I win every time. Yeah, clip their wings down also. I ain't going anywhere.
Oh, well, that's what you got.
Small legs.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, chaos, absolute chaos. What do you expect? Right. Let's get out of here. Thanks, everyone. Please do like and subscribe, and we will see you next week.